Listen up.
It's just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
All right, well, a lot of people talk about Nick Cannon and his unconventional relationships with all of his children's mothers, and he has 7 kids with 4 different women as of now, but he does have babies on the way, and Bree Tiesi from Wildin' Out is one of the women that he is having a child with. She was on her fellow Wildin' Out co-stars B. Simone and also Megan Brooks' podcast, the Know For Sure podcast, and here's what she had to say about Nick.
I don't have to like that you got 8 kids. I don't have to like nothing.
Right.
Nothing about any of this. But at the end of the day, it's like I make the conscious decision to be here with all of the information that I have because you gave me that opportunity. Not because you lied to me or conned me or told me what I wanted to hear or whatever. It's not like some cult like everybody likes to think that it is.
You think you're in a cult?
I swear. He's the best dad. He tries so hard. Like I have so many friends that are just like fighting over their kids in court. The dads are never present. They don't help with anything. They're in these like damaged situations, and I'm just thankful that it's just not.
So she's on Wildin' Out? Mm-hmm. But is she a Wildin' Out girl, or is she a comedian, or?
Yeah, no, she's one of the models.
One of the models, okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know, I was just asking.
Mm-hmm. And so she said even if he gets married one day, settles down, she'll be happy for him and co-parent their child. And she said she loves him. And she said it's hard knowing that he's with other women, but she doesn't play the comparison game at all.
Well, it works for them. Congratulations. Anytime a baby comes in the world, it's an amazing thing. It's a gift.
Healthy baby.
So congratulations to them.
All right, now Travis Scott has a new car. He got a new Bugatti, and it's worth more than $5.5 million.
Which Bugatti is it? The Bugatti Chiron?
Yes.
Sport?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very beautiful. Beautiful car.
It's the Veyron.
Chiron.
Veyron Chiron Super Sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sport. It's
Thought you would know about it.
Yeah, they're going right now. It's crazy because I think brand new they're like 4.5, but because of everything that's going on in the world, depending on options, so 5.5. I mean, Travis Scott has a host of cars. I tried to get a couple of them for the Houston Car Show, but
he said no.
I couldn't grab any of them. But maybe the next one. I think a lot of his cars in LA. I know he has a couple in Houston, but maybe next year I'll try to get some from Travis.
All right, now congratulations to Lil Baby. He was honored at the 35th Annual ASCAP Rhythm and Soul Music Awards. That was yesterday. That celebrates songwriters and publishers behind the biggest hip-hop, R&B, and gospel hits of 2022. And for the second year in a row, he was the ASCAP Songwriter of the Year. So congratulations to Lil Baby.
Yes,
he's not
congratulations
stopping
to
anytime
him.
soon.
And he's working. The documentary I heard is amazing. I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. I heard he got some new music coming out, so he's consistently working.
All right, now Twista is talking about gun violence and how it's a huge issue in Chicago, but he also has a gun safety camp. And so he was on TMZ Live and he was discussing his firearm education course, the gun camp. That's where he trains civilians to be smarter with their weapons.
I've learned about firearms like a lot of other people had, so I had negative perceptions. But once I became a firearms instructor and a competitive shooter and just got in it from a different angle, I was able to see firearms from a different view, and it gave me the passion to want to go out and teach people as well as the youth about firearm safety and just educate them about firearms overall so that people would have a different perception about firearms, and maybe it will cause people to go out and do different things and think more about being defensive minded and protecting others more so than things of negativity.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. I think it's crazy that, when somebody turns 21, they have no training and you could just purchase a firearm. That's crazy to me. I mean, at 21, I purchased a firearm. I had I shouldn't have had no firearm at no damn 21. I was still emotional. I didn't know anything about a gun. I didn't know what the laws were, what the rules were. I didn't know anything. When I got a little older, like Twista said, I took a couple of classes. Now, I took those classes so I could be able to carry my firearm in, I think, like 40 different states. But with me taking those classes, it taught me about firearm safety. It taught me when I can use my gun, the proper way to use my gun, when defensive is. Like in New Jersey, there's different laws. Like you're not allowed to shoot somebody if there's a problem outside your house, if they're running away from your house. Like there's so many different rules and regulations and laws that you have to know and that you should know that I had no idea about until I took that class. So he's absolutely right. I think anybody over the age of 21 should take a firearm safety class. Absolutely, he's right.
All right, now DeShawn Watson from the Cleveland Browns has settled with 20 of the 24 women who accused him of sexual misconduct. He agreed to a confidential settlement with these women. And according to his attorney, Tony Busby, he said in a statement today, I announced that all cases against DeShawn Watson, with the exception of 4, have settled. We are working through the paperwork related to those settlements. Once we have done so, those particular cases will be dismissed. The terms and amounts of the settlements are confidential. We won't comment further on the settlements of those cases. He also noted that Ashley Solis, the first woman to file a lawsuit against him and the first to speak publicly and identify herself as a plaintiff, is not one of the 20 women who settled. He said she is one of the heroes of the story. Her case has not settled, and thus her story and that of the other 3 brave women will continue. I look forward to trying these cases in due course, consistent with other docket obligations and the court schedule. So, yes, we don't know what these amounts are, but 20 of those 24 cases have been settled.
Now, people look at these differently. Sometimes people say when you settle, you're admitting guilt. Sometimes people say when you settle, you actually just don't want to go through the court proceedings. You just don't want to continue to pay an attorney or a lawyer to go through those proceedings. So how do you look at it, Yee?
I mean, it's hard for me to know without the details, which they're not disclosing. So you can't really say, right? It could be, and
because people talk about it all the time when they get sued or you're going to court. Sometimes it's just easier to just pay it out. So that way you don't have to go to court. It doesn't have to keep getting brought up in the press.
Yeah, some people say it's more expensive. He wants to continue with his career. He might have cut a deal where they're going to dismiss everything because he's settling with these women. And maybe they felt like, this is going to be a long, expensive battle.
Correct.
So I don't feel like going through that because it's traumatizing. Or maybe he feels like it's just easier for me to do this and get on with my life. We don't know.
The same thing for, like you said, for the women.
So
a lot of women
really
don't want to go through it because it's traumatizing. They don't want to have their names put out there. So for them, this is
right. So it doesn't mean that these women were making things up at all. But it also does not mean that we just don't know. And I hate to say what I think happened because I don't know.
Correct.
I can't speculate on that. And especially the fact that they're not going to detail anything, and part of the settlement is that it's confidential. We can't know.
Correct.
All right. And that is your rumor report.
All right. We got front page news next. What we talking about?
Man, let's talk about these January 6th House Select Committee investigations. And I will tell you, watching this was definitely something that I feel like if you're not a human being, like, this had to touch you unless you have no emotion or no feeling at all. How regular people who were trying to do the right thing were affected by things that Donald Trump said in the news.
All right. We'll get into that next. Don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.